Today I'm going to tackle the AFC diesel auto power replacement spring and also the diesel auto power fuel plate. So hopefully this rain, you guys could see, it'll hold off. We'll see how it goes. If not, I'll just cover it up, but let's dive in. First things first, I'm just going to take off the air horn and disconnect the fuel solenoid, get that out of the way, and then I'm going to pull the AFC off and go do the spring and do a couple little mods to the AFC. All right, so you know it's a 10 for the intake horn, it's an 11 for the intercooler coupler. Just move this off out of the way. Right there should be fine. 13 for the stock AFC airline. I don't know, flathead or like a 7 mil for the other line. Cover these up, don't be stupid. I guess you could say that the intake horn was leaking. That's why you use blue Loctite. So I'll get rid of this nastiness, and I have a new gasket I'll put in here as well. Right now I'm just going to do 8mm to get this fuel solenoid off, which is loose. That's funny. That's actually real funny. Loosen the bracket and let's try and pull this thing off. Alrighty, so let me get down in there. You could see, I'm assuming that's a factory plate. It was right in the middle. I already loosened it up a little bit. It doesn't appear any material has been shaved from here. So I'm going to put the fuel plate on right now. I'm gonna go grab that diesel auto power fuel plate, put it on, this over to the bench. If you don't want to drop those down, that's bad news. So use a magnet, be smart. Right, so there's the factory fuel plate, and here's the diesel auto power 10. Number 10 fuel plate. If you want to look at them side by side, it would appear there's a little bit more of a slotted adjustment. I don't think that matters all too much. It's really the profile of the foot. You could see the differences right there. So that's really what's going to matter. All right, so the factory bolts are here. The diesel auto power fuel plate comes with these nice little Allen heads. I reused the lock washers from the factory bolts. So DAP number 10. Okay, so what I was told is you just want to make sure wherever you end up adjusting it that it's the same on the top and the bottom. All right guys, so I got the AFC off. Gonna go with the AFC spring kit installation instructions that come with the kit. The kit is a diesel auto power AFCK. It comes with a medium and a soft tension spring. It's just a replacement spring, a little bit longer. So there's no coil bind, you know, it'll help clean up the smoke, a little bit more added tunability. And this diaphragm has a hole in it. I have another diaphragm, so that's cool. Oh yeah, that thing is toast. So use a chisel, don't be stupid. It literally took me 2 minutes to get all the old ones off. This one looks nice. I don't know if it's been replaced or not, but let's pull off this donor diaphragm. Pretty nice to have an extra P-pump laying around, because I'm going to, here might just be a little shorter. That would just work like this. Because I could show you guys what's going on the bench, as opposed to when I do the 4K governor springs. I can do it on the bench and on the truck and show you both a little bit up close. And all right, so that diaphragm definitely looks in great shape. Here's a factory AFC spring versus the diesel auto power. You can see the difference. This one's a little thicker, this one's a little longer. It comes with a heavy spring for a 215 pump, and it comes with a light spring for everything else. So there you should be able to see the hole in the diaphragm. That's no bueno. All right, so I got the AFC foot off. I'm gonna go ahead and take 2 millimeters off of this foot, just because that's what I'm gonna do. 2 millimeters, around an 1/8 inch. Actually, it's a little less than an 1/8 inch. That should be just fine. There's the nut. I also have 2 fender washers that I'm going to replace the factory cups with right here. I got a good diaphragm, and I'm going to throw in the light spring. So that should all work out pretty nice. There's the AFC foot. I took probably a little less than 2 millimeters off. Not a big deal to me to get a bunch. I should have enough injector and delivery valves for fuel, and this isn't really a max effort deal. You do need the Mac rack plug if you decide to get full use of that. I'm not going to put one in at this point, maybe later on. I just wanted to do it, just to do it. Got those fender washers. Gonna go ahead and put this all back together. AFC foot back in. You guys can see I had just marked where it was on this little cam. Goes like that, no problem. So it's time to just toss the lighter spring in there and the diaphragm. Fender washers are directional. I feel like there's a smooth side and a side towards the diaphragm. You just don't want it to catch on there. All right, throw the spring in there. I'm gonna throw a little blue Loctite on that bolt. Throw the washers on. Make sure that foot slid all the way forward. You can throw the washer on first, then the diaphragm, and the other washer. A wave washer too, so that helps hold it in place. Want to make sure the lip on the diaphragm is going down into the groove. Just tighten it up by hand. And then because we did do the fender washers, you don't want to go too tight because it'll start to distort it. Now we can go ahead and throw the AFC housing back on. But here it's just a 10 mil. And then a little set screw. So I'm going to back this all the way out. Kind of want to push this down so that the lip of the diaphragm goes in there. Make sure that's on there correctly. Make sure you're not pinching that diaphragm in there. All right, so the Diesel Auto Power, they give you these little bolts to go and place the factory tamper-proof screw, which is great, but I don't like these little flathead. They suck, frankly. So I have a bunch of these Allen head metric 6 by 1s. So I just went ahead and I replaced all 4 so they all match. It's a smoke screw adjustment. Just touching. I'm gonna go 1 full turn in. And then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this 10 millimeter. It'll get us in the ballpark. All right, so again, they give you a replacement for the tamper-proof, but I want them exactly the same just so I have 1 tool to take them on and off. And I have extra, so I'm just gonna make everything, and this is a 5 millimeter Allen, so I could take it all off. You can see I changed out all of them just because that's what I wanted to do. I still have stock delivery valves and stock injectors at the moment and stock turbo. So I'm gonna have to get in there and change that when the bigger injectors go in along with the turbo. So I'm not too worried about my AFC tuning at the moment. And the star wheel, I loosened it all the way up to where it's towards the front of the engine. So that's gonna allow more fuel in the lower boost levels, like pre-boost. So more pre-boost fuel all the way forward. So what I'm actually gonna do is bottomed out. I'm gonna turn it probably 1 turn in and just see where that gets me. All right, so that AFC's back on. I went ahead and replaced all the bolts with Allens because it's easier. I know you could just take these injection lines off. My goal is to kind of do this in individual things. So if somebody was just wanting to do AFC mods and they didn't want to take this off, then you know we can get it done that way. I still have delivery valves and injectors to do. All right, she's all together. I put a new intake manifold gasket on. Everything seems tight. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do a boost leak test, so let's see if she even starts. Gonna do it for the AFC mods, the diesel auto power AFC spring and the fuel plate. I kind of ran out of time today. I just got to start it and let it idle, free revved it a few times, but I'm sure it's good to go. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about the tuning because I'm gonna have to do dialing it in here in the future. But for today, you guys, thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thanks to Diesel Auto Power for sending me out that fuel plate, that AFC spring. Next video, look out for the 3 4K governor springs. I did a fuel pressure gauge, I did a boost gauge, and lockup switch is coming too. Then injectors and delivery valves are kind of easy, so I'll do those in a video by themselves. And then after all those goodies, we got the Borg Warner upgrade. Should be fun. So again, thank you, Diesel Auto Power. And this is OBS Bryce. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.